And thank you very much for staying with us. It's now time for the Business Report. The Ghana Stock Exchange recorded low turnouts in trading activities during the 2011 trading season. The financial crisis suffered in both the US and Europe in 2011, with investors battling liquidity and asset quality challenges contributed to the situation. This was revealed at the GSE's annual general meeting.
Year-on-year inflation at the end of December 2011 was 8.58%, the same as recorded in 2010, while the yield on the 91-day Treasury bill was 10.67%, down from the 12.26% recorded in December 2010. The Ghana cedi, which exchanged at 1.47 cedis against the US dollar in 2010, was down 11.5% at the end of December 2011. The gross domestic product, GDP, grew by an estimated 14.4% in 2011, including about 5.7% from the oil sector, to close 2011 at an estimated level of $39.5 billion due to the low activity on the local market arising from the negative impact of the debt crisis across the world, especially in the US and Europe. The exchange was challenged.
Interest rates are very high, and a lot of investors are moving to fixed income instruments, buying government bonds and depositing their monies with other financial institutions, and that has hurt the performance of the exchange. I think generally when interest rates go up, it has a negative effect on stocks because there are alternatives in the market that have relatively high returns.
He also told Joy News that GSE is putting measures in place to list foreign companies on the exchange.
We're also trying to encourage the Nigerian banks to cross-list their shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange, because all of them are listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And since we are trying to integrate capital markets in the ECOWAS region, I think every company that is listed in Nigeria that is also operating in Ghana should be able to, or should be encouraged to list the original shares, on the Ghana Exchange. And currently we have about 6 Nigerian banks, so it's an open invitation to them to come to our market.
Notwithstanding the strong fundamentals of many companies listed, the GSE Composite Index ended December 2011 with a negative return of 3.1% as compared to the positive 32.25% return from 2010. Trading volume and values for 2011 were however higher at 420 million shares valued at 447 million Ghana cedis compared with those for 2010 of 330 million shares valued at 151 million Ghana cedis. The top 10 gainers in 2011 were Total Petroleum Ghana Limited with 49.5%, PBC Limited with 48%, Benso Oil Palm Plantation Limited 31.82%, PZ Cousins Ghana 15.49%, and Unilever Ghana Limited 14.31%. The rest are Ghana Oil Company Limited 9.38%, Mechanical Lloyd Company Limited 9.09%, followed by Aluex with 7.69%, UT Bank Limited with 6.25%, and Ecobank Ghana Limited 5.96%.
Civil society group Economic Justice Network has denied assertions it is not in favor of trade relations with Europe. Tete Homeku, a lawyer and member of the group, says EJN is, however, gravely concerned the economic partnership agreement to which Ghana is a signatory will only deepen the country's economic problems if the current terms are not reviewed. He was speaking at a lecture organized by the group here in Accra.
Ghana is due to sign the agreement, and according to the EGN, it will enable Ghana lift her raw materials to Europe and exempt some European goods from being charged export taxes. This, Tete Homeku explains, will not be beneficial to the country. He urged the country to create an investor direction to ensure investments are mutually beneficial.
Times the profit needs of the foreign investor do not coincide with the developmental needs of your economy. So the only way you can get a foreign investor to come into your country and behave in a way that gives him profit or her profit, but also develops the economy, is for you as a nation to retain the right of policy space to encourage the foreign investor to go to the areas that you think are more profitable for him to go to and leave the areas that are not, that your people can do so that they can do it. In the area of goods, he wanted that African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries should remove tariffs. Tariffs should get to zero on at least 80% of all products that they import from the European Union. In other words, 80% of all the things that we import from the European Union should enter into our market without any duty on them altogether.
In another development, the Commissioner for Trade, Mines and Free Movement at ECOWAS, Hamid Ahmed, told Joy News discussions are ongoing with Ghana to withdraw from signing the EPA as a country. He added the agreement will be looked at and signed at the regional bloc level.
There will be not individual signature. We will agree, all of us, we will agree and we will sign for the West African community. We are working daily with Ghana. But it is not only Ghana, Ivory Coast too. These two important countries of our region, we are not going to let them to go individually. We have to go together, all of us.
It is believed when signed as a regional bloc, the bargaining power of ECOWAS will be stronger than when signed as individual countries with the Eurozone partnership. The series of lectures will continue in Kumasi and Tamale in October.
Still in the business report, President John Mahama has been courting investors in America, asking them to make Ghana their preferred investment destination. He was speaking shortly after his speech at the 67th UN General Assembly. The president said Africa, for that matter Ghana, is a good destination for investment. President Mahama said Ghana happens to be the state for the gateway to West Africa and could become the hub for supplying food needed in the sub-region. He conceded, however, that Ghana's weakest link is manufacturing and industry and implored investors to take advantage of those opportunities, adding the country will provide all the necessary resources and raw materials for such industries to work. He also touted Ghana's democratic credentials, which he said will be consolidated in the December elections. Now, the European Union said it was asking the World Trade Organization to impose countermeasures on the United States worth $12 billion a year for illegal subsidies to aerospace giant Boeing. A European Commission statement said the requested measures were based on estimates of the damages suffered by the EU due to unfair and biased competition from the US industry.
Boeing and its European rival Airbus have been at odds since 2004 over the issue of government subsidies, with both having won and lost complaints filed against each other at the World Trade Organization. The statement from the EU executive said its request for penalties follow the EU's assessment that the United States had not lived up to the obligation to remove its illegal subsidies in the aircraft sector. The move appears to follow a new chapter this week in the lengthy legal saga between the two global aviation giants. The EU on Tuesday called for new WTO consultations in the case after claiming that Washington had failed to meet a Monday deadline set by the Geneva-based organization to end illegal subsidies to Boeing. Washington countered the following day by accusing the EU of far greater handouts.
And that's it for the business report. Up next is Showbiz. But before that, let me give you some smart investment tips.